Pavilion is proud to offer therapies such as yoga, Qigong, and healing touch to help you maintain and enhance your physical well-being. For more information, call 800-82-SHARP or visit the website at sharp.com/OPP. And win a free Concept 2 meter delivered directly to your door. All proceeds benefit the San Diego Crew Classic. Event 65, the Women's Collegiate Varsity Invitational Petite Final lane assignments are Iowa in lane 1, UCLA in lane 2, Notre Dame in 3, Miami in 4, and Cal Davis in 5.
Well, at the start line of this Women's Collegiate Varsity Invitational Petite, we have an alignment. We have all crews anticipating the start. It is dead calm again. Should make for very fast racing.
Iowa, UCLA.
The starter is pulling the crews.
Miami, UC Davis.
All hands are down.
Attention.
We have the flag raised and a start. It is a fair start. All boats have left the stake boats. All boats off even. As we approach the 100-meter breakage area, UCLA has pushed out to 2-seat lead over Iowa and Notre Dame, followed closely by University of Miami and outside UC Davis. As the boats come off the sprint and settle into the race cadence as they come into the 250-meter mark, UCLA has pushed out to a 4-seat advantage over Notre Dame and Iowa, followed by UC Davis, another seat down, and the University of Miami. This is women's Petite Final, Collegiate Varsity Petite Final. Some of the best ladies racing in the United States. And as they come down the race course, lane 1 is inside, lane 6 is away from the shore on the eastern side. As we approach the 500-meter mark, it is clearly UCLA, 5 seats over Notre Dame, which maintains a half a deck advantage over Iowa. Then UC Davis is 2 seats back on that, and then 6 seats behind them, the University of Miami. That's the call from the 500.
On the water right now, the Women's Collegiate Varsity Invitational Petite Final. A quick recap of our lane assignments. Iowa is closest to the shore in lane number 1. Our current leader, UCLA, is in lane 2. They're being challenged by University of Notre Dame in lane 3. Miami is in lane 4. And University of California, Davis is in lane 5.
Yes, looks as though Iowa got probably a less than optimal start here, because they wouldn't have liked to have been in this trailing position. They, on paper, are the favorites in this race, but only just over UCLA. UCLA have taken this one out and are seeking to assert their dominance on this race, but Notre Dame are not letting them do so. As we come towards the end of the second 500, it looks as though it's the University of Notre Dame and the UCLA duking it out, and what remains to be seen is whether the University of Iowa can overcome that slightly slower start and power their way back into contention in this race.
As the crews approach 1,000 meters, UCLA clinging to the lead in lane number 2. They are being challenged on the outside by Notre Dame. The far outside to University of California, Davis. along the shoreline, Iowa. And Miami beginning to tail back just a bit.
Yes, and as they move through the 1,000, it is indeed the University of Iowa who have powered their way past the University of Notre Dame and are throwing down the challenge now to UCLA as they enter the supercritical third 500. The third 500 is where these races are won and lost, often called the graveyard of people's hopes and aspirations. In order to win the race, you've got to get the third 500 right. This is where the muscles are really starting to burn and the lungs are starting to contract, and this is where all the crews need to dig deep and maintain their technique in the face of increasing oxygen deprivation and really push those legs down, keep their race pace going and push out on the other crews.
Right around the 1,000-meter mark, Iowa began to make a move, and they are currently on a run. They come right up to challenge UCLA, and certainly Notre Dame has not gone away. However, they're dropping back just a little bit. To the far outside is Cal Davis and Miami trailing. Very impressive move by Iowa right around the 1,000-meter mark. They still have not totally overtaken UCLA, but they closed the gap considerably. Notre Dame stayed right with the leading crews, and they're hanging in there. Miami has made a move up on Cal Davis on the far outside. Inside 500 meters to go, it is UCLA apparently have fought off the challenge of Iowa that they threw down at the 1,000-meter mark. Notre Dame and Iowa, Notre Dame is trailing just a bit. Then to the outside, a battle between Cal Davis and Miami.
It's tough to come over the top of a crew in the final 500 here at the Crew Classic. That's truer at low tide than at this relatively high tide at the moment. The tide's only just started to go out. Let's see if the University of Iowa can do it.
UCLA on the lead. Iowa pressing them mightily at the moment. Notre Dame has fallen back just a little bit. On the outside, Miami has jumped up on Cal Davis. This is UCLA in the lead with Iowa, their gold jerseys along the shoreline, and they have certainly picked up a lot of ground since 1,000 meters. It's UCLA and Iowa. Then to the outside, Notre Dame, followed by Miami and Cal Davis. UCLA and Iowa. UCLA continues to be on the lead. They have about 5-seat lead. UCLA over Iowa. Outside to Notre Dame, open water back to Miami and Cal Davis. UCLA continuing to fight off Iowa. Iowa continuing to close ground. It's going to be a strong finish in the last 100 meters. UCLA clinging to the lead. Iowa closing but losing just a little bit there in the last 50 meters. It apparently will be UCLA hanging on, holding off a late challenge by Iowa on the inside, then outside to Notre Dame. Then comes the University of Miami, and the Cal Davis crew is out in lane 5. Once again, our apparent but unofficial winner was UCLA, holding off the challenge of Iowa, then Notre Dame, Miami, and Cal Davis. Just checking once again, the winner, University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. They held off a late challenge by Iowa. Then comes Notre Dame, Miami, and Cal Davis.
On other airlines, meals have become pie in the sky. On Continental, we're